What if starting a YouTube channel is not just about posting videos to get monetized, but about becoming the woman you have always wanted to be? If you're wanting to become more feminine, to adopt more habits of a life of ease and softness and restfulness, then this is the thing to do. In this video, I will tell you exactly why starting a YouTube channel is the best thing to do for your femininity, as well as address fears, my experience, and polarity so you can see how it is that you're maybe a little too stuck in your masculine and why YouTube can facilitate you going into that graceful, soft life that you've always wanted. I postponed starting my channel officially for far too long. I did Toastmasters International to improve my public speaking. I changed my nerves into excitement by doing 75 hard of daily lives on Instagram. I even had a community of women that I coached every single week, but nothing gave me the confidence and the self perception of this is who I am until I started posting every single week on YouTube as of October 2024, which was only 4 months ago. Stay until the end to see what actually made me finally change and how you can too. Welcome to Devoted to Extraordinary, where today is the first, last, only, and best day of our lives. If you're new here, please subscribe to come along the journey and become a woman of virtue. I'm so excited to have you. So, I have learned about myself that I will not do very much unless I have public accountability. What helps me have accountability is to keep my interests within a container. Uploading a video a week is the best project that I can do to keep myself on track with my goals. So, if you are also a woman and you need that discipline and that accountability, you might be looking to surrender within a structure. Your surrender is your feminine and your structure is your masculine. There is no way to be an all 100% feminine woman, just as much as there's no way to be an 100% masculine man. No matter what our gender is, we need a percentage of both energies in order to keep that inner pillar balanced. We need a little bit of both doing and being, of consuming and creating, controlling and adapting, taking things seriously or being lighthearted. There is a time to force and a time to allow. There is a time for linear thinking and a time for cyclical thinking. The masculine is the intellect, the logical, the thinking, and the feminine is the intuitive, the feeler, the emotions. So when we get to be a little bit of both, we are the best human we can possibly be. A woman ideally would be leaning on a little bit more of a percentage of feminine, and a man would ideally be leaning on a little bit more of a percentage of masculine. That radiant woman that you are attempting to be, that you know you can be, is in that balance of both energies. I like to explain it best with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If, as women, we are stuck in our physiological needs and trying to secure a roof over our head, making sure that we pay the rent all the time, and that we have the resources that we need, we won't be spending very much time in our creative brains. So we want to be secure enough to be able to leave survival mode and enter into that lightheartedness and creativity mode in order to bring to life things that excite us and that make us feel playful and fun. So I'll show you exactly why YouTube meets all of these needs incredibly well. First, there is such an increased confidence through vulnerability. When you show up exactly as you are and share from your heart things that you know others would benefit from knowing, others will start to follow you and listen. Because the advice that truly got to me is that someone is always behind you. Someone is forever benefiting from wherever you are on the road. Whether you know it or not, you've encountered problems in your life that you have solved, and you can help others with that now. I've been studying feminine and masculine energy as well as relationships for years. Only talking about it and teaching it and being in spaces where others asked engaging questions is what got me to actually make a job out of it. How I started was when I was 23, I got all of my friends together in a circle on Zoom weekly for 1 month, and we talked about what I believed mattered. At the time, it was called Habitat Humble, and it since has become Devoted to Extraordinary. But I didn't know what I was birthing. I simply started what I knew I had to start. What I did, which was quite smart, looking back is I made ads on Instagram inviting other girls who are interested in self development to that program. So I had my friends as well as new customers, new clients. I led one of them to become a pianist. I led another to be more confident with her children and to see the beauty of other women's voices, feeling that they're a part of something in community. That is that confidence with vulnerability. It is acknowledging that you, where you are, already have authority because of your experience in life. You never know what part of your story would deeply resonate with somebody and would be the exact thing that they need to hear today. I used to be all over the place with the way I spoke about things, but coming on here has meant that I've had to make sense out of my ideas and tease out some examples. So it's made me more coherent and it's made me more linear in my thinking, which is fantastic because the woman that I want to be is a little bit more of that masculine energy as my pillar. Speaking to a camera used to freak me out so much. My hands used to go sweaty, my heart used to go so fast. Even facilitating a space where those women were together when I was 23 and my friends were there freaked me out. But doing it over and over for 4 years now has really helped me help others to move myself aside, to move my fears aside, which we'll get to later in the video. It's not about me, it's about this. I found so much confidence in being vulnerable in those spaces also. Hey, I'm really nervous right now. Let's do some breath work together. Let's do some tapping. At the time, I led them through these meditations, which wasn't then only a part of the program or the coaching, but really it became a way for us all to ground together and for us all to rid of our nerves or our overwhelm. So you can bring in your own weaknesses, if that is what you consider vulnerability to be, and you can turn them into a strength, that confidence that is to have the strength it takes to be soft. It is that you always have a voice. You are forever able to put words to how it is that you're feeling, which is what gives you that authority. I felt so much more comfortable by voicing what I needed. And that is what you're able to do as well. Coming onto YouTube, no matter what type of content you bring onto this platform, there is a space for your voice. I used to feel so much that I was hoarding my gifts, that I had something to give, I just didn't know what. And it's okay, you have to start there. Number two, increased self worth through this feminine leadership. By holding a space, by facilitating, by becoming a coach, these are all steps between the girl who thought she had nothing to share and the woman who she became because of it. The best thing we can do for the world right now is have more feminine leaders. So when I'm saying to you, start a YouTube channel to become more feminine, I really mean it. I remember discussing with my friends how confusing it was for us not to have any women to look up to. Yes, I knew some here and there, but all I saw on TV were celebrities. All I saw on Instagram were picture perfect influencers. All I saw in magazines to tear out of them and put on my vision board were photoshopped models. And it was exhausting not to have a virtuous woman, a woman who was talking about femininity, a woman who was able to be independent in her finances as well as not having to brag about it because all she cared about was having her happiness intact and everything that she needed, as in friends and family around her with love. True feminine leadership comes from the heart. And when you say to other girls, you can grow into the woman that you know that you can be too, it totally inspires a better generation. And that is my mission. That is what I hope to inspire in you is, hey, what is my responsibility? How can I take accountability? What can I do to be more authentic no matter who I'm with? You only know who you truly are when you bring this contribution to the world. So, if you also have a drive to create something meaningful, then the Japanese have a really cool way of calling it ikigai, that is purpose. When what you're good at, what you love, what you can get paid for, and what others need is all tied up in one purpose. Every time I get to sit down with an idea, with an article that I turn into a video that I get to edit, all of that process makes me so happy to be the woman that I am today. Starting a YouTube channel is far from being self centered. It is the best gift you can give the world. I've just touched on the third point, which is creativity, authenticity, and self expression that YouTube allows you to bring onto their platform. They are wanting so many more new voices, and it is obvious with the amount of new channels that they are pushing out on their algorithm. I've started to do vlogs as well as little artistic short films that I've enjoyed more than anything, and they go incredibly well under the niche of femininity. You can also share your crafts, your cooking, your recipes, your sewing, your beauty tutorials, your wellness advice. All of it can be on this platform. Femininity is not about perfection, but about heart. I have a note that says, H is for helpful. Am I giving you value? E is for emotive. Are you involved in these feelings that I'm having when I'm telling the story? Is it authentic? Am I being myself? Is it relatable? Do you see yourself in me? And does it tell a story? Do I actually lead you through a narrative where you get some conclusion out of it? The whole point for me in doing these videos is to inspire you to do something with what I have to share. And that is the most feminine part of YouTube. It's this creativity and it's this self expression that I get to brand any which way I want. I get to edit any which way I want. And I can show you visually what I'm speaking about before I know for sure that if you subscribe, it's because you want to hear more about how to be the woman that you desire to be and have always known you can become. Next is receptivity and connection. I was driving my family and friends absolutely mad by talking all the time about feminine energy, about class, about grace, beauty, standards, men, and now I get to talk about it on here where you all want to hear me speak on it. And I get to receive comments. I get to lean back and see how it's impacting you in a positive way instead of a negative one. To know that my channel is a place where other women can feel seen and heard and supported and encouraged and inspired is so wonderful. YouTube is the second largest search engine and it has evergreen content, which means that from the moment I hit publish, I get to receive your comments, likes, subscriptions, connections from a video that I made months before, years even. And the added bonus, of course, is having that community of ideal clients. Your ideal client is 2 steps behind who you are today. Julia, 2 steps before Julia today, was stuck in cycles of self doubt, in patterns of people pleasing, anxious attachment, needing to be able to do what she said that she would do. I have a wealth of advice that I didn't have when I was that girl that I can share with girls who are stuck exactly in that place. But when I was doing my lives on Instagram every single day, although it was making me more confident, I was still stuck in an echo chamber of only my followers. YouTube pushes this out to so many more of you, and I've been able to connect with a much wider audience. Of course, a lot of people seem to be starting YouTube because it can open the doors to monetization. But I don't think that's the only way that we can make money on here. If it comes, great. But in the meantime, to make an impact with one of you is what matters to me. I've even seen the channels of artists sell out of their paintings and prints because they have a YouTube channel that drives their creativity. And when people watch them doing their art, they love it and they can buy it. So if you have a business, then documenting it on here and sharing the process of that is exactly what gets people to like you and follow you and become your ideal client. This is your opportunity to turn your passion into a profit while staying authentic. And if that's not femininity, I don't know what is. I deeply recommend that if you're here, you subscribe to the newsletter because that's exactly what I'm going to recommend that you also have on your channel is a place where people can give you their emails because your subscribers on YouTube don't belong to you. Only your email list belongs to you. If you're ever unable to come back into your account, you won't be able to access this community that you've put a lot of effort and time into building. So make sure you have a newsletter where you can speak to the people that you've engaged with all these years. And of course, we have having extra time. Who wants to wake up while it's still dark out, put on a corporate outfit, sit in traffic, be in meetings instead of be able to record that hit of inspiration for a video, have to rush to a shop to buy your lunch, eat it within half an hour, do more work that just kills your brain a little bit, then hold in a wee because you're on a conference call, then rush back, make dinner, and your entire day is gone. If you are a feminine woman, you want a slow day. You want to be able to wake up with the sun or sleep in. You want to be able to dress the way that you want to. You want to cook yourself a nutritious meal that you can enjoy. Perhaps you want to walk on the grass or play music or dance between work. And that's exactly what YouTube allows you to do. I write my article throughout the week. When I have random hits of inspiration, I'll put that in my iPhone notes. I'll then bring it onto a Google Doc a couple of days before I film and I'll turn it into an article. And then I'll be talking to you about this idea because I get to express my creativity on here. The video that I recently made on 10 micro habits to be a more feminine woman is because I took you with me for 2 days and I'm only able to live that lifestyle because I don't have a 9 to 5. And YouTube definitely helps that. If you want to listen to your intuition, if you want to give voice to your creative expression, having a YouTube channel is the best thing you can do as a feminine woman. A lot of us have fears when it comes to speaking in public, but this is just you in a room with a camera. You can take as many shots as you want, edit it as many different ways as you want, and even delete it if you hate it that much. But don't be afraid of imperfection. Perfection isn't relatable. People want to see who you are. What helped me so much was changing the definition of perfection in my mind from an ideal to a wholeness, a completeness, and a it is finished. Perfection means that we've got both the darkness and the light within us, both the weaknesses and the strengths. So if we mess up, we can laugh about it. I have a whole pile of bloopers that I haven't shared yet, but I plan to. If you are hated, is another fear. I used to be the worst for this. I did not want to rock the boat. My teachers always used to say, Julia, speak up. Nobody could hear me, but if nobody sees you, then nobody can love you. And if people do love you, then people can also hate you. So if you have haters, it means you're having an impact. Haters are simply jealous because they're insecure and they don't see what you're doing as an opportunity that they can do it too. They simply don't believe in themselves. It's a lack of self esteem. So I can see that and I can send them prayers and blessings. It's very easy to just delete a bad comment on YouTube. And before I do that, I make a point of saying, thank you for being here. The YouTube algorithm counts all comments, no matter what the content is. So I appreciate you. And no, thank you. Because if you don't engage, sometimes that's better. Count them as a fan. Remember, the Dr. Seuss quote that I absolutely love is those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. People who love you will accept you as you are. So, if you're really wondering how to start, I would just keep it simple. Record yourself talking about something that you could tell a friend about for hours. Start small with something that feels natural to you and start with what you have. This is all recorded on my phone. I even edit on my phone. When my computer has a better processor, I will use that. But until then, I edit on my phone and you can also use the things that you have. Sit in front of a window for natural light and just hit record as many times as you need. A metaphor that really helped me was seeing my YouTube channel as a library. So if you walk into that library a year from now, you'll have a multitude of books, those are the videos, to choose from to borrow, which is watch. Because I've posted one video a week since October, I have about 16 videos on my channel. I don't believe I will have reached at least 1,000 subscribers until I have about 100 videos, which means I have to post for at least 2 years before I think I'm going to get any considerable numbers on the channel, which is brilliant because it takes away that pressure of having to make YouTube work for me. I detach from the numbers and I allow the connections that I'm making to be absolutely enough. And 2 years from now, it'll be the absolute best library that anybody has ever walked into. So let me tell you why I wish I started sooner. What finally made me start was seeing so many other successful YouTubers talking about the very things that I was in my private community. So although I was doing the work, I just wasn't uploading to the correct platform. And that was horrible. So for 3 years in a row, I saw that I was in the same place this year as I was last year. And one day I just said, I'm going to start posting to YouTube every single Sunday at 11:30, and I haven't stopped since. Because here's the thing, someone less smart than you is making more money than you. And someone with less values than you is making a bigger impact than you are. So you are doing the world a disservice by not stepping into your power and starting a YouTube channel. I'm telling you, growing in public is the best accountability there is. Plus, you should start before you're ready because in the doing, you'll recognize that you are ready, but not before. So, if you want to make the most fun out of this and step into the woman that you've always wanted to be, do this with a friend. Share this video with her and have you both take accountability with one another. Comment below what the new channel is so we can all follow one another. And subscribe to the newsletter to get the 3 questions to get clear on what niche or content you should start your YouTube channel with. Until next week, as my Oma always said, harden not your hearts, love and serve each other.